Hello.
Hey, buddy. All right.
Oh, you got yourself a nice stand there.
What?
You got yourself a nice book stand.
Oh, the bookshelf? I just had it repainted.
Not a bookshelf. What do you call that thing in front of you?
What?
Well, you
This?
put the yeah. Nice.
You want me to get you one? I have extras, I think.
No. I put the camera on my desk. Thank you.
What's going on?
Not too much. Hot, but hoping it will cool down a little bit.
Half shot, maybe. It already cooled down a little bit today, I think.
Well, tomorrow is supposed to be 80.
That's good. See here,
But
even Goose thinks it's hot. See, he
Saturday,
has to lie on the he lies on the
78.
cold. He lies on the cold tile instead of on the rug or something.
Say it again.
You see that? What?
What did you show me? The coal fire?
No. Moose the dog lies on the
your
cold.
dog.
He likes to lie on the cold tile when it's this hot, not on the rug or not on the couch.
What
He
kind
lies
of
on the terracotta,
dog is it?
a Bernedudo.
A Bernedoodle.
It's a long word.
Oh, Mr. Lallange.
Good evening. Good. Yeah. Just Kenny, you drove through all Montana?
No, I flew to Montana, but I rode my bike to Spokane, Washington.
Oh my
I didn't get to
goodness.
Seattle. I gave up.
You know, when I was a buck, we went to Tells and we used to take the train across the country from
Goes to
Seattle. It took us
Whitefish.
2.5 days.
It goes through
To
Whitefish,
two and a half
where I have a house.
Oh, right. So it took us almost 24 hours by train to cross the state of Montana. It's so big.
Yeah.
Montana is the big and it's long. So it took 2.5 days just to go from Seattle to Cleveland, but almost a full day to go across the state of Montana.
So
It's so nothing there. Nothing. I mean,
Yeah, there
when
is
you drive,
nothing as wide as
did you
Texas.
drive?
I drove through Texas from one end to the other. Oh God, that's big.
Did you go with somebody or by yourself?
bike ride I went on myself, but my family came to Montana for the month. Everybody came in and out. 1 week, this family, 1 week, another family, everybody just rotated.
So how'd you go? You stopped off every night at a different place or what?
Yeah,
How long did you bike for?
4 days.
Did somebody follow you with a car?
No,
So what happens if you got a flat tire or something?
I change it. What are you talking about?
Really?
The cavalry ain't coming.
So did you know where you were going to stay every night?
I kind of mapped it out. Yeah, I stay in a hotel. I don't camp out. But I get there, I'm tired. I take a bath, shower, wash my clothes, get ready.
So how many hours a day? How many hours?
I ride about 7-8 hours a day.
Bike?
I ride from 6 a.m. to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was very hot. It was 100 degrees in the afternoon. So it's just too hot to ride at 3 to 5. But you have to go over mountain
Wow.
passes, you have to go over and then back down through Washington and Idaho.
Wow, man.
My
You
friend, he
went-
has a ranch there, and
Wow.
he has a Jewish camp. He has a kiruv program there, and he gets all his meat from Seattle Kosher. Flies it in on a plane once a summer.
Really? Wow.
I don't know
And
if
the
that's a
way-
new
Awesome.
store,
do
but
you
all
ride-
the boxes say Seattle Kosher.
Ken, do you ride
Yeah, really?
both ways?
No, one way, and then I
Oh.
then I rent a car and I drive back.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's amazing. This is the first time you did it?
No, last summer I did Montana to Canada, and this summer I did Montana to Washington.
Wow, that's a long way. How many miles was it?
Not that many, 240 miles. Not that bad.
That's it?
Yeah.
Did you go through
Yeah.
Coeur d'Alene? Coeur d'Alene?
I went to Coeur d'Alene. I spent a night in Coeur d'Alene. Not bad. Swam in Lake Coeur d'Alene.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. That's
Yeah,
I think it's one of the deepest lakes, one of the deepest lakes in the country.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's where the mafia
Coeur-
buries people.
Wow. And then it's right across from Spokane. It's not too far from
Yeah,
Spokane.
so then I finished in Spokane. It was just the next day, a 40-mile ride. It was no big deal.
Right, yeah, yeah.
But they have beautiful bike
Okay.
trails. Idaho, Washington, beautiful bike trails.
Wonderful. Good for you. Wow.
Next time you could join me.
Oh, yeah. Next lifetime. I dream about it, yeah. I took the train across so many times.
I took the train last summer from East Glacier to Whitefish, because that's where I finished my bike ride last year. So then I got on the Amtrak. It was so fun. They gave me a sleeper. I had a sleeper car. Great.
Oh,
It's a nice way to travel.
where'd you go to?
They give you kosher food on the train.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no problem. I'm like, hey, do you have kosher food? They're like, sure. It's like airplane food, but it was fine.
My father used to take that train across from Seattle to New York to Yeshiva. So he was 13 years old. This was in the 1920s. They ended it to about 26 or 28. No, about 20, something like that. And he used to get on the train in the morning. The conductor would come by and take the ticket. So he was a small little boy. So he had a half price ticket, like 12 and under. So he was putting filling on. The conductor comes by. This was about, I think, 1929. Conductor comes by, gets his ticket. He looks at him. He says, "How old are you, son?" He says, 12 years old. In a way, they lie a little bit. But he says, the conductor says, "Since when, as a boy of 12, put on filling?" This was in 1929.
That's great.
So my father says, well, I learned that if a boy is 12 years old and he understands everything, he can put the filling on. So the conductor pats him on his head, Zygazoo,
Yeah. That's hysterical.
Yeah, he was conductor. He was, he went, this goes like Jewish conductor in the 20s. Something.
That is funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's our leader?
He come back from Reisman Shear. Speaking Shear. He just finished it.
Oh.
He went
Why
to
are
get
you
a
recording
cake.
this, Mario?
He went to get a cake for you.
No, we left the shear. He left before I did. Still, Kenny, welcome back.
Thank you, boss.
He stopped off for a beer, I think.
Alan, they're talking about oral. So I was thinking of Oral Hershiser. But speaking of shear, the Oral Hershiser. Oral Hershiser.
Oral Hershiser, right.
It's spelled the same way too, Oral.
Oh, yeah.
He was good.
I thought at the very beginning, a bris, I thought you have to have the shema, And this guy's
like, anything
so
goes.
Ernie says, I did. Yeah, Ernie says I did thousands of them. So he
Right.
says, you're not allowed
Wow.
to.
Kenny, how was your bike ride?
Hot. It was really hot this summer. Oof.
How many miles?
Not that many, about 200. It was just a shorter ride. Not that many. From Montana through Idaho to Washington to Spokane.
Only 200 miles to go across the state?
Not the whole state, because you got to realize Whitefish is northwest. So I'm already
Okay.
west.
In the Aryan Nation?
South
any
and then
Aryan Nation
across.
people? You
What?
saw any Aryan Nation people in Idaho?
No, a lot of numerous Confederate flags hanging, which I think is disgusting, but whatever. And
Of
then
all places, Idaho.
then big banners, like across people's houses or the road that say F blank CK Biden.
Really?
Yeah, pretty in your face.
Really? Wow. And there's an Idaho?
This is in Idaho. It's the mining section of Idaho. They're called the Silver Valley, where Coeur d'Alene is. Yeah, Coeur d'Alene is there. And the mining towns have been revived in terms of their downtown. So they're like Michelin star restaurants and things like that. But, you go a half a mile in either direction and it's trailer trash for, to the edge of the city. It's a combination of really depressed and then, really nice.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of white people with tattoos and no teeth, and there's no blacks, there's no Mexicans, there's no Asians.
No Jews.
No. I did ride by Hayden Lake, which is where the neo-Nazi guy had his headquarters. And that's where they had the convention every year with the Grand Wizard of the Klan and all that. That's called Hayden Lake.
Hatin
Hayden. Hayden. It's a nice, pretty lake with, expensive property.
That policeman moved up to that place over there from the guy that was involved in, remember that years ago in California?
Furman.
No, his name was the policeman that was in jail for what was his name? He
with
Rodney King or something.
Rodney King. His name was Furman. I think his name was Furman.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
Furman. Yeah, F-U-R.
Furman.
F-U-R. Furman. Right. Furman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Berman. Yeah.
No, for sure not Berman.
Yeah. No, Furman. Right. That's right. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So Yud Ches Amud Aleph, 18. So we had an example, we had a case where if somebody borrowed from a ger who had converted, and his sons had converted with him. So in essence, they're not related to each other anymore because a ger is kikotin shenoila dami. So they have no relation. So the halacha was you shouldn't return the money to the sons. And if you did return, Chachamim were not happy. There was another brisa that said if you returned, they are happy. So lo kasha. It depends if he was born a complete goy. That means the conception and his birth was when his mother was a goy, and then he converted, versus his conception was when his mother was still a goy, but he was given birth to after his mother converted. Then to him, you can be chayzer, you can return the debt to the sons. Rav Chia bar Rav Amar Rav Yechon Nachri Yoshes Avi Dvar Torah. He says the din that a goy inherits his father, the inheritance is min Torah. Dichsiv. It says Ki Yerushala Esav Nasati es Har Seir. I gave to Esav Yerusha Har Seir. So the Gemara says that's not a proof. Dilma Yisrael Meshum et Shiny. We are looking for a complete goy, but Esav maybe is not a real goy. He was really a Yisrael, except he's considered.
It was a mummer.
He's like a mummer. He's like a Yisrael Meshumin.
You learned less.
Like we learned tonight.
Does the Mummer have the din of like Pishnayim too? And Yerusha from a, would he get Pishnayim from his father?
Meikir
the
Adin,
Mummer?
Meikir Adin, Yisrael Shehemir Doso. A Jew converts to Christianity. Yoresh es Aviv, Kifi Shahaya B'Yoso Yehudi. Aval Imro Chachamim Lekonso Shli Yirash K'dei Shulchazik Yedei of the Avar Rishus B'Yor. If the Chachamim want to make a fine and say he doesn't inherit it, they can do it. V'chei Noah Gobrava Makoimos. And then they give the Yerusha to somebody else. V'haramoy v'kama v'kama proti malacho seilu. So if we think that he's going to do tshuva, you can put the inheritance by Bezdin, like in an escrow. That's about Yerusha. Now, let's go weiter. It says Ki Yerusha leisav nasati sarsei. V'dilmi Yisrael Meshum. Maybe Esav's not a good raya. Ela me'acha ki livnei Lot nosati es aru. Lot was clearly not from Avram Avinu, and yet it talks about Yerusha with Lot. So that's the proof that a goy is yoresh minator. Rav Chia barabi my time lamer karava. Why didn't Rav Chia learn like Rava? Which was v'chishav im koneu. Miksi v'chishav im koneu, v'lo im yorshe koneu. It doesn't say specifically anything about Yerusha there. Now Rava, why didn't he learn like my time Lamek Rav Chia Baravin regarding Livnei Lot? So, Mishum Kavodah Avram Shiny. So, anyone who's going to be descended from Avram, like Esav, he can't learn a din regarding Goy because we give Kavod Avram Avinu. Tanaban Yesh Ivri She'en Bivriya. There are dinim by Neved Ivri that don't exist by Amma Ivriya. Yesh Bivriya She'en Bivri. And there are dinim by an Amo Ivri that's not by Neved Ivri. Yesh be Ivri shu yoytze b'shani. An Neved Ivri goes out in 6 years. Uva yoyvel, uva misa sa'odon, and the death of the master. Masha ein kain b'ivriya. L'chura, this price says that doesn't apply, none of these apply to Amo Ivriya. V'yesh b'ivriya sharei Ivriya yoytze b'simonim. A Amo Ivriya goes out when she shows puberty. Ve'enim keres Vinishna, she's not sold twice. Umavdino sobal korcho, you redeem her even against the master's will. Masha'en kain be'ivri. So we analyze the price. So Amar yesh be'ivri she'en be'ivri v'riminu. Yisera alav Amar ivri she'koinatz v'b'simonim. The previous Baraitz or Mishnah we learned that the Amavri has all the other dinim, shonim, yovel, mises on, and on top of that, Simon, this price seems to suggest that the only way she goes out is Simon. Amr of Sheitzes, Gon Shiyada. We're talking about a case where the master married her. And then she doesn't go out with all these other methods like Shonim and Yovel. Right, the Gemara, Yoda Pshita. Of course she doesn't go out. Gita boy. She's going to require a get. She's a married woman. So Mao is saying lo live to lahilchos samina. Maybe even if she gets married through Yihud, the other dinim of Shonim and going out beyond, maybe she goes out with those. Kamash Malon, that no, she needs a get. So she doesn't go out with Simonim either if she gets married. Means if she wasn't given Kiddushin, she would go out as well with Simon.
How does she make? What does she do with Yid? How does they get married? For this, is there a transaction over there? For
yes,
Yid?
you use the money that was paid to the
father originally.
The money that was paid to the father, selling her, so that money is used for Kiddush.
Yeah, but it's gone already. It's not a new thing. You have to make Kiddushin with a new money. Can't do it with an old money.
So it's
Gotta
done.
be something different.
It's done with this money. We'll see the dinim coming up.
Yeah.
We'll see going on. We'll see Yud later on in today's block. Yud is Kiddushin, using the money that was used to buy her.
It's still old money. It's not new money. It's got to be something right now. Can't buy with an old debt.
But the father owes money. So the father owes money, but he can't pay it. So he sells the Amo Ivriya to pay off his debt. So the master gives some more money to the father, like you do anytime. If she's under 12. So the master gives new money, or let's say wipes away some of the debt. You're not Mekadosh b'malva, but that money comes into play with the Yiyud. Right?
Okay.
That money is what's used for him to make her his wife. The Yotzav and the Mekeres V'nishtas. She's not sold twice. Michlal, the Eved Ivri Nimkar V'nishta? Can an Eved Ivri be sold twice? V'atani, Bignei Vasa. He's sold because he stole and he doesn't have the money to pay back. V'lo b'kfelo. But he doesn't have to be sold to pay back the kefil. Bignei Vasa v'lo b'zmamo. Let's say he was a witness who testified on somebody that he was a ganef, and then he became huza, right? Somebody saw him somewhere else at the time that he said that he saw the other guy. Now, what punishment do you get for being an Eid Zomim? You have to do to the guy what you wanted to do to the other guy. So you wanted the other guy to pay, so maybe you should make you pay. No. You're not sold if you owe money as an Eid Zomim for Gneva. You can't sell them twice. Means if he sold $1,000, and let's say his value as a slave is only $500, you still don't sell them twice if it's one Gneva. Kan b'shtei Gnevas. But let's say he was sold once, and then he sold, and then he finished, he stole again. You can't sell him again. Amalei Abai b'gnevaso, tuva mashma. Even the word gnevaso implies many gnevos. Elon by loy kasha. So l'chora, that means in all cases he could be sold. Even for many gnevos, he could only be sold once. So how does Abai explain loy kasha kan bodem echad? You can only be sold to one person once. To two people, you can be sold twice. He stole $1,000, only worth 500. Nimkar v'choizer v'nimkar. He sold and then he sold again. Gnevo chamesh meos v'shava elef and a nimkar klal. He stole 500, but he's worth 1,000. They don't sell him. He's only sold if he's worth exactly what he stole. Imla v'eno nimkar. The Maishma Gdeva Chamish Meos V'Shava Elef, the Nimkar, if he's stole 500, he's worth 1,000, he's not sold. The Nimkar Kulo Amrachman of Lo Chetzio. You sell all of them, not half of them. Achinami Nimkar B'Gnevaso Amrachman of Lo Nimkar B'Chatzi Gnevaso. Doesn't work either way. So, the Ganef is only sold for the Karen, not for the Kefa. That's number one.
But he has to be equivalent in value to what he stole.
Yes. Let me.
That would make it that it never happens.
Correct. He can't. If he sold from two different people, he can be sold twice, even 100 times. If he stole from 100 different people, but not if he stole from the same guy twice. He's not sold twice. Now, if he stole 1,000 and he's only worth 500, he is sold, according to the Rambam. And the remainder gets put on cheshbon and he owes it, but it's not sold multiple, because the Rambam is goyres ein a chosev v'nimkar, and he paskins like Chachamim. Then back to the Gemara. Umaftin oiso bal korcha. You redeem her even against the master's will. Means even if he doesn't want to sell her, you can redeem her. What does that mean? You write a note, whatever she's worth. Let's say she's worth $500 and she still owes the master $500 worth of service. So you write a note, I owe you $500, and you give it to him. You write a star. And then if she gets the money, or she writes the star on herself. She writes the star and she says, I owe it to you. So why should he agree? He has a pearl under him right now, her, and she's giving him something worthless. It means we force the father to redeem her. It's a shame ra for the family that the girl is working as an amalei friya. So why don't we force the family to redeem an Eved Ivri? It's embarrassing for them. But that's a problem. He's a con artist. He'll sell himself many times if he knows he's going to get redeemed. So by the Amma Avriya Chanami Hadar Azul Mazabin law? No, because Haktani ain't in Keretz Vishnisnis. And Amma Avriya cannot be sold twice. Mani Reb Shimoni. The Tanya, Moicher Adam is Bito Leishus V'Shoneh. A father can marry off his daughter to multiple husbands. And L'Shivchus V'Shoneh. And can sell her multiple times. And if he sold her once as a shivcha, and then he redeems her, he can give her over to a husband after the shivchus. Avalol shivchus achar ishus. But if he married her off to somebody, and then the guy dies or divorces her, he cannot sell her as a shifcha anymore. Reb Shimon Omer Kashem She'enan Moiches Bitul L'Shifchos Achar Ishus. Just like a father cannot sell his daughter as an amavri after she's been married, kach ein adam moiches bitul l'shifchos achar shifchos. You can't sell her again if she was sold once. Ubeplukta dani tanoi. Ditanya. It says, li'am nochri lo yimshol l'machra bevigdo va. Kiven shapir shtaliso alea, shuv ein rishai l'machra. If the master had done yiyud and married her, then the father doesn't have the right to sell her again. Div Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Ezra bevigdo va, kiven shebogad ba, since the father sort of was a traitor against her, shuvein rishai l'machra. He loses a right to do anything, to get either for kiddushin or selling. B'may b'kamiflaki. Rabbi Ezra Savar aim l'masoras. We go by how something was written. So it was written b'vigdo, but we can read it b'vogdo. So therefore, since he was a traitor to hear shifchos achar shifchos, Rabbi Akiva Savar yesh aim l'mikra. We read it b'vigdo, lashon beged, which was only after ishus. He can't sell her anymore as a shifcha, but after shifcha he can. Rav Shimon Savar yesh aim l'mikra u'l'masar. It's both. So he says there's no shifchos after shifchos, and there's no shifchos after ishus. Now, boy Rav Arvo, Yehu. When the father, when the owner marries her, through Yiyud, does it make Nisuin or Erusin? Is it full Nisuin or only Kiddushin? L'may nafkamina, Liyorsha, who inherits her? If it's Nisuin, he inherits her. L'tamila, if he's a kohen, he can go to her funeral. Lefer nedarel, to annul her vows if there's Nisuin. Ma, Toshma. Bevigdova, Kivan Shapir Talis Oleh Shuven Shalom Mochwa. Once there's marriage, so that he can't sell her anymore as a shivcha. Zvuni udelo mezavim le. Fine, he can't sell her. Ayehud miyad le. He can make kiddushin with another person if the first baal either died or divorced her. V'yamrit nesunois. Now, if Yehud makes nesuin, given the nisas shuven lavi reshuspa, how can you say the father retains the right to make more weddings with his daughter? Once there's nesuin, the father loses his right. Yehud only makes kiddushin, and that's how we paskin. We can disprove this. The Bryce is talking about regular kiddushin for his daughter, not through Yehud, through this Amo Ivriya business. Since the father gave her to a man who's chayv to give her clothing and food and sexual relations, he loses rights to sell her anymore. But not this. We haven't resolved the question of what Yehud is. Toshma. Ein machar lekroivim. A father cannot sell his daughter's namavriya to relatives. What do you mean relatives? People who have an isser to live with her. Because we need the option of Yehud. He disagrees. You can sell to koivim. Even though there's a law for Amon to marry Kohen Gadol, you can sell an Amma who's not Amon to Kohen Gadol. or grusha v'chlutza l'kohen hedya. Now, hay almana echid. She is an almana because she accepted kiddushin by herself. Almana korile? Why are you calling her almana? If she was a minor and she accepted kiddushin, she's not considered a wife. Ella de kitchavia. But the father accepted kiddushin, but mimatzi mazbinla, he can't do that. He wasn't allowed to sell her as a shivcha after she was married once. Explains that we're talking about not regular kiddushin of Yehud that occurs with an amo evriya. This is what Elazar was talking about. Most Harishonos lav kiddushinism. The money that the father received because he sold the daughter, that is not what goes for kiddushin. That's payment for her work. If he wants to do yiyud, he has to give more money separately. The Abrit Nesuin Oisa, yiyud cannot be Nesuin, Shuv Ein Lavi Rishuspo. It wouldn't go to the father. So what do you tell me? That it makes kiddushin. So what do you mean v'shavin shemoich? The father cannot sell her again after getting married. Elamais shani erison dida, erison davia, erison that she accepts is different than the kiddushin that she gets from her father. That means if she decides to accept erison by herself, then it's not going to be also for the father to sell her again. But if the father did it, well, it's going to be the same thing if it makes nesuin. If she does nesuin by herself, it's going to be different than the nesuin of the father. Hi, my how bishmei rusin shiny. There's difference between regular erison, that a man comes to a father and says, here, I want to be Makadish your daughter, here's money. And that's different than Yiyud erison, which the master is involved of the Amay. So maybe after that kind of erison, the father still has the right to sell her again. Ela Nesuim and Nesuim, where she was mamish fully married, and she left the reshus of the father, Mishaini. There's no difference between Nesuim. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to learn at 5 o'clock, God willing.
Shkoyach.
Good night.